Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Making it a positive day for you guys, for yourselves. We got some updates. We got some things going on. We have a press conference in just about a half hour from now, revolving around this whole situation that's going on right now. And if you guys don't know about everything, I'm going to try to give you guys a little bit of a recap on everything that has transpired thus far. It's been a crazy one, I will say that. And even for myself, you know, I'm just trying to get as much information as I can with updates that we have so far. But there's not a whole lot that was given, but there will be a press conference here in less than a half hour from now. And I'm hoping they will give us some answers or give us some updates like we all rightfully are asking for right now as we speak. Now, I will say this is just popping up on my feed. And again, actually, I'll say this really quick, or I'll say this part really quick. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry, but barely slept last night, was keeping my eyes on this and all that, and nothing was going on. Just a lot of nothingness. Okay. But do me a favor, hit that like button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Crush it. Send it past 300 likes as you guys start to file in. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you hit that reaction button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, hit that follow button, okay? We talk about everything on this show. This is a variety show. We talk about everything from pop culture to breaking news to trending news, etc. So please be sure to follow or hit that subscribe button wherever you're watching this show right here. Okay, guys, we got to get into some things. Like I said to you guys before, there's still some information that we don't know a whole lot about. We're still trying to find out what the heck is going on. What's the truth behind everything? It is very frustrating because we don't know what's going on. There are a few videos that I'm going to try to pull up for you guys over time. Sorry, I got like multiple screens going on all at the same time, just trying to get some things up for you guys. And the thing is one thing I do want to really press is that this man is still on the run. Let me show you his photo really quick so that you guys can see. And somebody, man, I need to learn how to do this because some of y'all are really amazing at enhancing crappy photos and making them look a lot more distinct. I don't know how y'all do it. It's pretty amazing. I need to learn how to do that because it's pretty fire. But this is Robert Carr. He's 40 years old, and this is the man that went into many locations and opened fire on innocent lives, claiming the lives of, from what I heard last night, maybe the toll, I hate to say that like that, maybe the toll has gone up. I do not know. Okay, but as of last night, it was 22 lives were claimed, and it was an upwards of 60. Some people out here were saying upwards of 80 people were injured, were being rushed to various hospitals and all that. It's been extremely terrible, y'all. Okay, and Gamer, I know it's Photoshop, but I'm wondering what kind of thing they use to really sharpen the face. It's pretty amazing. I've been seeing it on missing persons photos, etc. It's been the witchcraft, the digital witchcraft that you guys do is pretty amazing, and I just want to learn how to do it. But anyway, moving on back into this story. This is a highly trained. This is a highly trained man. This is a man. This is a monster that has a lot of skills. Okay. Military trained and all that. This is a very, very dangerous individual. I just want to make that abundantly clear. We talked about this last night. We're going to be doing a little bit of a recap on all that. Okay. Just so you guys know. All right. But it is pretty crazy. All right. So let's get into some more things. Okay. We got a bunch of things. There was a couple things that were sent to me via phone that, of course, I wanted to make sure that we all knew. But there is a piece that I wanted to reshare with you guys again. Just a quick trip down memory lane again, because to be honest, in about 20 minutes, we're going to find out some more information. We also have some eyewitnesses speaking out. We also have a survivor that has spoken out or speaks out as well. So we definitely are going to be talking about and listening and watching a bunch of stuff over the next 20 minutes before, or I'm going to try to squeeze in as much as I can over the next 20 minutes before this press conference that's supposed to go down around then. But this is crazy. Again, this is from the Maine Information and Analysis Center. This is what we talked about last night. Just a quick recap. Of course, there's an active monster on the loose. He is still on the loose. So if anyone, this is the thing, this is the one thing I can't stand about social media. Okay. Everybody out here. Okay. Everybody out here that's sitting here saying that the dude is caught and is in custody and all that. Dude is not in custody. This monster has not been detained. He has not been arrested. Unless we hear something from this police press conference, I'm going to sit on not hearing any of that mess from anyone. I just want to make that abundantly clear. Okay. Until I hear from news, reliable sources, or from police mouth themselves, please just let that die. Just let that stuff die. Just let it sit. Okay. Let it sit down. Okay. So some information. Okay. And I know I said this last night, but some of y'all are new to the situation, new to this tragedy. So I'm going to give you guys as much updates as I can. Again, this is a highly trained individual. All right. So they're attempting to locate Robert Card. Again, he is 40 years old and he is armed and he is very dangerous, y'all. He's got outdoor skills. He has some serious military training. This is not someone to be messed with. All right. So he is a trained firearms instructor believed to be in the Army Reserve stationed out of Saco, Maine. According to law enforcement, Card recently reported mental health issues to include, he also said he was hearing voices and he was threatening to bang up, okay, the National Guard base in Saco, Maine. Card was also reported to have been committed to a mental health institute or mental health facility for 2 weeks during the summer, this past summer, not like summers like 5 summers ago, just a few months ago, y'all. All right. And was subsequently released. Now, he already ditched his car at this point. They say that he is on a boat, just boating around here. Okay. Now, I know some people are saying maybe he went on maybe he's trying to go to Canada or something like that. I do not know. I will say that I do not know. But this was the photo that was being shared like crazy. So I wanted to share it with you guys again. This is what happened. He walked into this recreation center, this bowling alley, and he just opened fire. And from what we're understanding right now, it was Wednesday nights is a play. Wednesday nights at this spot were usually a day or a night for teenagers to go there, kick it, have a good time, and bowl, play a few games, and do whatever. He went in this place, and there were apparently multiple kids in there. I don't know how many kids have been injured, but 22, from what we know so far, 22 people have been injured or have lost their lives, and over 60 people have been injured. So you guys do the math of the probability of this situation. Okay, this man clearly knows what he's doing with that weapon. He's a very dangerous dude. Very, very dangerous person. All right. So, oops. Let me just pull up a few things. It's just, and what's interesting is in here, they're saying, I just want to show you this really quick. They're saying 15 to 20 people lost their lives. Like, what? Make up your mind. Okay. That's what I'll say about all of that. But I appreciate all y'all for being here and spending the morning with me. I know a lot of y'all are deeply affected by this situation. We are still trying to figure out what the hell happened here. There is going to be a press conference. As you can see, they are rushing to get things together, to get things moving. Okay. And I'm going to let it play for a second while I get some things put together.
Involving hundreds of law enforcement officers. Residents in multiple communities have been ordered to shelter in place, staying inside their homes and keeping their doors locked. That police bulletin obtained by the Associated Press and by Fox News did identify 40-year-old Robert Card as a person of interest in the attack, and it described Card as a firearms instructor believed to be in the Army Reserve and assigned to a training facility in Saco, Maine. These are the surveillance images that were released by authorities last night. They are still circulating here, and they have identified the person in the photos as that man that they are looking for, 40-year-old Robert Card. We are going to continue to follow this and bring you all the information as it is made available. It is now 10:13 on the East Coast and 7:13 on the West Coast. Let's head to a quick 2-minute commercial break, the first one of the hour, and on the other side, we'll get right back into our live, raw, and unfiltered coverage here of this mass shooting in Maine and the manhunt for this person. We'll be right back.
What's interesting is that what's frustrating, okay? What's really, really frustrating about all this is that they are literally saying that this is a person of interest. Man, he did this thing. Just say you're looking for the bad guy, looking for the actual assailant. I hate when they're like a person of interest. He's the guy. If you got him caught on tape doing this, he's the guy. For crying out loud. Okay? For crying out loud. Maria Brown, Pascal, your F-Boy horror short had me rolling all day. I'm glad you really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for checking that out. A little bit of a left turn, but I do have another one coming out soon as well. Or I already leaked it already on other platforms, X and Instagram and all that. Go check it out. But I'll be putting it up probably tomorrow on YouTube because of all this that's going on. I want to give this the time that it rightfully deserves. But I do have a video I want to share with you guys. Okay. While we wait, we got some people who are speaking out about everything. Hold on. Is this it? Come on. Oh, not yet. Okay. Now I have it. Let me pull this up. And from my understanding, this is allegedly one of the kids that was actually grazed during this incident. Okay. So I wanted to share this with you guys. Let's take a listen. Unbelievable. Kids, y'all. Kids.
I mean, it's scary. I just never think I never thought I'd grow up and get a bullet in my leg, and it's just like why do people do this? Like, I don't really know what to say. Like, I
think we're both.
Yeah, like, it's just like
shocked.
Yeah, like, I just never thought someone would walk in and then just start shooting and taking people's lives away. People have families, and they're young people who still have long lives ahead of them, and people shouldn't be coming in and doing that. That's not okay.
To think that this happened, it's really heartbreaking to hear that. I got another one here too, that I want to share with you guys. Again, if you appreciate me giving you guys a little bit of this coverage, a little bit of these updates, please hit that like button down below. And yeah, that's one of the kids that actually got hit during this terrible thing. You imagine your kids going off. I hate to put that even into your minds, but just think about that for a second, y'all. You kiss your kid. She's just there. They are just going to go off and go bowling with some of their friends, and then just some monster comes in and does this unthinkable thing. For me, it's hard to wrap your mind around that, right? 1 second, everything's fine. The next minute, you're at the hospital. It's unbelievable. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are very concerned over their loved ones right now, trying to figure out if they're okay, if they're not. I got another survivor eyewitness to this whole thing as well, which I'm going to play for you guys right now.
Well, we were inside and just normal night of bowling, and out of nowhere he just came in and there was a loud pop. Thought it was a balloon. I had my back turned to the door.
Hold on, guys.
And as soon as I turned and saw,
there we go. I'm going to repeat that again.
Well, we were inside and just normal night of bowling, and out of nowhere he just came in and there was a loud pop. Thought it was a balloon. I had my back turned to the door. And as soon as I turned and saw that it was not a balloon, he was holding a weapon, I just booked it down the lane, and I slid basically into where the pins are and climbed up in the machine and was on top of the machines for about 10 minutes until the cops got there. But yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I don't think you're supposed to see that in real life. Over 10, where at least I knew they were shots. And then when I got on top of the bowling machine, it was a lot of ruckus back there. So I don't really know from that, but I heard the first one. It was probably 15 feet behind me. I mean, it was close, very close. But I just went there, just to bowl by myself, and yeah, I wasn't even there 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I just walked in the place. I was putting on my bowling shoes when when it started. So I've been barefoot for 5 hours.
Barefoot for 5 hours because he didn't know, because he was dodging and running for his life, dodging bullets and running for his life. Can you imagine that? In a bowling alley, thinking he's just going to bowl, maybe, have a pint or two, hang out with his friends, whatever. And then all of a sudden, all this stuff goes down. Okay. And that's crazy. Jane, you know what? This is a very good question. Well, obviously, how are the scenes related? The scenes are related because this man, allegedly, they're saying this is the same guy that went from the bowling alley to the Walmart distribution center area and opened fire. This is what we know so far. Like I said, they haven't really given a whole lot of information, which is really, really frustrating about all this. They haven't said nothing about any updates about why this man did anything. And also the other thing is like, what did they find in his home? That's the other thing too. Did they find a manifesto? Did they find a letter? Did they find anything? Did they see things on the walls? Like what did he leave behind when he went running? Because right now he running. Okay. So what do they know? And what have they given? What have they given to the press? And what are they going to give us at this press conference? Because, you know, one thing we don't want to hear is them saying, well, we ain't got nothing. He's still on the run and we still don't know nothing. Or they go, we know a bunch of things, but we can't really tell you anything about it yet. That would really burn my cookies. I don't know about you guys, but that would anger me because, you know, this is somebody who's out here, out on a lam. He is in those wilderness streets right now as we speak. And he could be planning another attack. I hate to be that fear-mongerer guy or anything, but on the real, imagine that he did some serious damage. Okay? Serious damage. So I'm hoping that we find out some more information here soon that leads us to some truths here and some more clarity on who this mother lover is. That's weird.
Situation.
There we go.
I guess the biggest message is our community is our biggest supporter. So we're very transparent here at the PD. Our community is very transparent with us. They call us, and that's how we solve things. That's how we solve crimes. Horrific crime happened. We are relying on our community. Give us some information if they see something, you know. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why we were so busy all night long, chasing things all across town. You know, obviously a tragic incident happened, but they're reaching out with stuff because they know we're going to look into it. You know, they're very appreciative. Even from we had a complaint earlier where people said that there was screaming going on across the street. We showed up. It turned out to be goats, you know, but we thank them because, you know, any information could be something that we need. Okay.
So you want people to stay in their houses and keep the doors locked.
What's that?
You want people to stay in their houses, keep their doors locked, and call you if they see him.
Correct. Yep. Correct. Stay inside, shelter in place today in Lisbon. The county put it out county-wide, but I'm representing Lisbon, so I'm just saying as far as Lisbon goes, if you see something, call us.
Clearly.
Any chance that he may have fled in another car, that there was a car here? There's reports of another car, perhaps a Suburban or something that he may have been in that has crossed into Massachusetts.
Yeah, I don't have any of those details.
One of the reasons why I ask is, I mean, I know I see you guys out here, but you know, we're not seeing this massive kind of like search through the woods, search through different locations here. And I'm wondering if there's some information that you have.
You're seeing the local PD, but there are federal and state here, and there is aerial here as well.
Right. They were here earlier, but they're not up now.
Correct.
Okay.
It's coordinated, everything that's happening. So everything's happening in a coordinated effect. I can't get into the details of how we're doing anything.
Right.
You know,
but Chief, you talked about everything, all the work the different departments did all night. Can you sort of talk about the resiliency of officers in certainly a tough situation?
I just say that Maine's lucky to have the officers and the dedication that we have. That's, you know, we all do this job for a reason, and it doesn't matter if it's Maine or across the country. We're all short-staffed. We're fortunate in Lisbon where we're not as short-staffed, but you know, we want to help people, and right now we want to find justice, find this suspect. And that's our main goal today. So we're not going to stop until that we locate him.
They don't know where he is.
What was your reaction when you heard about this tragedy, just a town over, and then obviously that the search is now boiled into your town?
It's absolute tragedy what went on. So
we got 4 more minutes.
Get into the details with explaining any more on it. I can explain that as soon as that we found out what was happening in our neighboring community, we activated our entire police department, and we sent anybody that was suited up to head up to the scene to assist. And myself and other officers in my department went to all the businesses that were open and told them to close up and go home before we had any information that it was going to come this direction. So we just, everybody's main concern is, keep the community safe. And there's 10, 12 cameras there. And I can say the biggest thing I can get out to everybody is please reach out if you see something suspicious, something isn't right. If you look out in your yard and you're like, that door wasn't open, or, that trailer wasn't positioned that way. You see anything suspicious, please call us. Because that's how we're going to be able to work together and be able to get to the bottom of this. Okay.
Chief, has there been any reports over the last 24 hours of any stolen vehicles?
Yeah, I can't get any investigation details at all. Okay. That's all the investigation details is going to have to go through the state police, which there is going to be a press release if everybody's aware of it.
10:30.
10:30. Okay.
How difficult is
3
it
minutes
to
from
find
now?
somebody like this that's on the run in a community like this?
Well, we're fortunate that we have very well-trained people in the state and with the federal partners and local PDs. So it's coordinated efforts, and it just takes a little bit of time, but they're working diligently, and so is your local police department.
Did we get you to spell your name already?
That's no
Sure.
bueno.
Yeah, last name's McGee, McGee. My first name is Ryan, Ryan, and I'm the chief of police here in Lisbon.
Are there any license plate readers at bridges or at thoroughfares, like at the main crossing point?
I can't get in any details on that right now. Okay.
What level
What
of
is the
comfort
what's
or
going
safety
on?
can you provide the community? I mean, what can you do for them? I mean, people are really on edge here.
I rightfully so for what just happened in neighboring communities. The things that don't happen in Maine, but I can say to our community is we have officers, our entire department out, and other agencies out at coordinated locations all through town. If they see something and they feel unsafe, if there's something suspicious, call us, because that we want to be able to alleviate any issues. Before I was going to meet with everybody here, we cleared because there was reports of shots fired. It didn't turn out to be with that. While we were investigating that, we found an open door in a garage. We self-initiated that, and we ended up to people yelling and screaming, which turned out not to be yelling and screaming, turned out to be goats. We're going to investigate absolutely every single thing.
If there's information that he's not here any longer, would you expect that that would be something?
If there's any details, updates we can give you on the suspect, it's going to come directly from the state.
Right, but that's at 10:30. But
yeah, if there's something sooner, absolutely. The command post will.
How
will push that out.
No one has really put out any information. I mean, we're heading
it's going
into a very long stretch of no information.
Actually, I disagree. I think
besides you, no one has talked.
I disagree. I'm putting out information.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. All I can account for is, what I'm able to give you. There is a lot of agencies involved, okay, and there is information that has been put out by the Maine Department of Public Safety. Our local news channels, I'm sure, could share that as well.
Chief,
but just trying to help.
We appreciate it.
And I can say that, everything is coordinated. What's happening right now between the state police, the federal, and the local. Okay, we have coordinated areas. We're trying to, and I'm not going to get into the details of the investigation because I'm not allowed to. Okay, that have to go through Shannon Moss, who is the speaker at the Department of Public Safety. Okay, and the state police.
And Chief, you guys talked about that being you said it's been a long stretch. How are the officers doing across the departments from what you can see? I mean,
we're all determined. We're all determined. That's determined to locate the suspect.
And how about the coordination between, you don't see it every day, New Hampshire and Maine and all these local departments helping out this area. How's that communication level been?
I have had zero issues with communication in Lisbon. We follow our training, and we all switch on to a certain channel. We can all speak to each other. I had agencies from all over the state in Lisbon last night and into this morning, and I still have people that are not from Lisbon in Lisbon, and we're able to talk. We don't have all the same channels, but we do have one channel that we can all talk together. So we are utilizing that, and obviously we have other means of communication. So, but everybody's determined, as you are as well. And I appreciate all of you because you're here to be transparent as well and get the information out to the public, which we want as well. So I do thank you. I think that'll be it for now. I do want to make a couple phone calls.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
All right. But I do appreciate you guys. Okay. You're welcome, guys.
And that right there was the Lisbon police chief. That is a neighboring community. And he was providing an update on the manhunt and the situation and essentially what information is known so far. Now, you are taking a live look over in Lewiston, Maine. That is where the podium is set for this news conference that should begin any moment now. It was slated to start at 10:30 local time. It is now 10:31. So we're going to bring you the comments as they do get underway.
I mean,
For now, let's head to a quick 2-minute commercial.
Of course, they're going to do a 2-minute commercial break. Come on, Mike. Come on, man. They're going to be going up there very, very soon. Don't be dumb. Don't go into a commercial break. Jeez. But so far, so just so you guys know, some people are asking, has he been found yet? As of till we hear from the press conference, they are still sitting here saying that they have not found anything as of yet. A press conference should be happening very soon, within any minute now. I don't know why they decided to go into a commercial break right now. They should have just gone and riffed for a few more minutes, because they clearly, I feel the police are still doing everything they can to get as much information together. They're trying to get their information together. Let's be real. We got a very violent, angry, terrible monster out here on these streets. And I have so many other words I want to use, but I'm going through all the words going, can't say that, can't say that, can't say that. But you get why I can't say certain things. But they still have not found him. He is still out here in these streets. You heard from the chief of police of Lisbon. As far as he knows, they haven't found not a damn thing with this guy. Something else that I saw here that I wanted to grab, because this is a good point too. Many people have barns, sheds, etc. Multiple buildings on properties is common. So he could be hiding out in so many different places right now as we speak. So the main thing is where is this monster at? Okay. What's frustrating to me is like, oh, well, he's a person of interest. No, he's the mother-loving dude who did this stuff. He's the monster who did all this stuff. Come on. Okay. And now they're looking for this guy. They have no idea where he is. And this is the frustrating part of it all, because it's so easy for people to just go off and disappear like this.
Over in Lewiston, Maine, that is where we are waiting for this news conference to get underway any moment now. I do want to go over some of the basics here as we do continue to follow this deadly mass shooting in Maine. Maine State Police holding this news conference alongside other agencies here, and likely the mayor of Lewiston as well, the governor. So we're going to have all of these comments here shortly. But what we do know at this hour is at least 16 people are dead after a man opened fire inside of several businesses in Lewiston last night, sparking a massive manhunt that involved hundreds of law enforcement officers. Residents in multiple communities have been ordered to shelter in place for now, staying inside their homes and keeping their doors locked. A police bulletin obtained by the Associated Press and by Fox News did identify 40-year-old Robert Card as a person of interest in the attack. It described Card as a firearms instructor believed to be in the Army Reserve and assigned to a training facility in Saco, Maine. The document mentioned that Card had been committed to a mental health facility for 2 weeks during this past summer, and that Card had reported, quote, hearing voices and threats to shoot up the military base. Again, that was a police bulletin obtained by the Associated Press and by Fox News. It looks like someone is giving directions there ahead of this news conference. Not sure if they are just doing a microphone check or if they're waiting for this to pop up here.
They just, they're about to break it all the way down here very shortly. At least I hope so. Let's rock and freaking roll.
It looks like they are doing some final technical stuff to get that out of the way. So once they do start speaking, we'll bring you that news conference here, live, raw, and unfiltered. Folks are starting to take their seats.
Okay, I was about to say, do not go into a commercial break, bro. Do not. This is not the time to do that ish. Let it be. Press conference, it looks like, is about to go on here. So let's rock and roll.
All right, so they are setting everything up and getting final preparations done here. In the meantime, I want to take you to this 1-minute comment that was just made by the new House Speaker. He did just speak to reporters over in D.C., so I want to pop that up and listen in as we wait for this to get underway.
You're going to do what you're going to do. Let's do it.
Can you step to the microphone?
Yes, we received information about this horrific tragedy. It has moved everyone in the Congress, as you might imagine. Our hearts go out to all those involved, the families, of course, of the victims, and we're so grateful for law enforcement. We trust and hope and pray that we're able to apprehend this individual as quickly as possible. There's no more injury or loss of life. This is a dark time in America. We have a lot of problems, and we're really, really hopeful and prayerful. Prayer is appropriate at a time like this, that the evil can end and this senseless violence can stop. And so that's the statement this morning on behalf of the entire House of Representatives. Everyone wants this to end, and I'll leave it there.
All right, so those were some brief comments, just about a minute in length, as we did hear from the new House Speaker there, making comments to reporters as he was walking through the Capitol. You're taking a live look here inside of this briefing room here in the city of Lewiston, Maine, as we are expecting this news conference to get underway any moment now with the latest information on this deadly mass shooting. There is still a lot of unknowns, a lot left to figure out here. We know that at least 16 people died after a man opened fire inside of at least 2 businesses there in Lewiston last night, sparking that manhunt that involves hundreds of law enforcement officers in a lot of different communities. Residents in multiple communities have been ordered to shelter in place for now, staying inside their homes and keeping their doors locked. Now, we've talked a lot about this police bulletin. It was obtained by the Associated Press and by Fox News. It identified 40-year-old Robert Card as a person of interest in the attack. It described Card as a firearms instructor believed to be in the Army Reserve and assigned to a training facility in Saco, Maine. That document mentioned that Card had been committed to a mental health facility for 2 weeks this summer, and that Card had reporting, quote, hearing voices and threats to shoot up the military base. Again, that was a police bulletin that was obtained by the Associated Press and by Fox News. We did see some folks come out here to the podium a short time ago to get those final preparations underway. There's another camera that keeps zooming in on a door, so I'm not sure if different law enforcement agents and other folks are heading in there right now. We do see one person that has already entered. So let's see. It looks like they are still getting these final preparations underway. I do want to take our final 2-minute commercial break of the hour here, and we will be
another
right back
commercial
as
break.
we wait for this news conference to get underway.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Another commercial break. Dear Lord. It's been like 3 seconds. Another commercial break. We need to, but it's like he doesn't have the gift of gab. He can't like just talk it through, repeat certain things that people don't know, that people know about already, that have already seen it 15,000 times or heard it 15,000 times over. You couldn't just repeat that stuff and let be until you go into the press conference. Damn. That's so frustrating. We got to go into another commercial break. Another 2 minutes. We'll be right back in 2 and 2. Okay. Listen, I'm going to repeat myself. It's not going to be anything too profound. You guys already know the stuff that's going on. We have a man on the run. He opened fire on a bunch of people. By the way, I'm understanding that it is 80 injured. It is 80 people that have been injured. Okay. The number of people who lost their lives is still 22. From what I'm hearing out here in these streets and what I'm hearing in the news and all that. They have not said that the toll, I hate to say say it like that, but the toll has not gone up. Thank God it hasn't. I mean, it's still devastating that it even stopped at 22 to begin with. Okay. But right now, 22 people have lost their lives. Many, many, many are injured. Some people are lucky to just get out of that place alive by the skin of their teeth. and some others, man, are not as lucky. It is pretty devastating to hear any of this. Okay. But still, this information is still devastating to hear. Hopefully, we will be getting this press conference going here soon. Yes. Finally.
Walking up to the podium here over in
Let's
Lisbon,
go.
Maine. So it looks like this news conference is getting underway. Let's pop up that audio.
Let's pop up that audio. Spin those ones and twos, DJ, whoever your name is behind the cameras. Spin those turntables, man.
Y'all in? Thank you. Thank you for being here. As you may notice, my voice is a little hoarse after working through the night. As you all know, last night, locals, county, state, and federal law enforcement officers from around the state of Maine responded to reports of an active shooter at several locations in Lewiston, including Spare Time Recreation and Schmangy's Bar and Grill. These law enforcement officers, in the face of danger, responded swiftly, selflessly, and with great bravery. Bravery that they continue to demonstrate today as they search tirelessly for a person of interest in connection with last night's events. On behalf of all Maine people, I express my deep gratitude for your response and for your continued service. I also do so for Maine's hospitals and other medical emergency responders. I'm profoundly saddened to stand before you today to report that 18 people lost their lives and 13 people injured in last night's attacks. In memory of those we lost and in honor of those who were injured, President Biden and I have ordered all U.S. flags and state of Maine flags to be lowered to half-staff immediately for the next 5 days. Maine State Police have issued a shelter-in-place order for Lewiston, Lisbon, and Bowdoin as the manhunt for that person of interest, Robert Card of Bowdoin, continues. I will let law enforcement speak to the ongoing manhunt and to their investigation, but Mr. Card is considered armed and dangerous, and police advise that Maine people should not approach him under any circumstances. I continue to strongly urge Maine people to follow the direction of state and local law enforcement amid this ever-changing situation.
They said
Please, if you see anything suspicious, please call 911. There are still many things we don't yet know about these attacks, but the full weight of my administration is behind law enforcement's efforts to capture the person of interest, Robert Card, to hold whoever is responsible for this atrocity accountable under the full force of state and federal law, and to seek full justice for the victims and their families. We cannot and we will not rest in this endeavor. My administration is coordinating closely with local, regional, and federal officials to respond to this shooting. I have spoken twice with President Biden. I've spoken with Vice President Harris, Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas, and Secretary of Health and Human Services Becerra, all of whom have called me last night to express the Biden administration's full and unwavering support and to offer any and all help that we, the people of Maine, might require. The governors of our neighboring New England states and of other states have contacted me to offer aid, and I am sincerely grateful for their friendship and support. We've been in touch with every member of the Maine congressional delegation, all of whom have offered their full support, for which I am also grateful. I also spoke with Mayor Carl Shaleen and Auburn Mayor, Jason Levesque last night to reiterate that we are standing by them and that we are ready to provide any help people in these communities need and to deploy all available state resources, including grief counselors and other mental health services. We need to help our communities heal.
They don't have anything else.
If you or a person you love needs someone to talk to during this difficult time, please call or text 988 for free and confidential counseling. 988.
Man.
Look, Lewiston is a special place. It's a close-knit community with a long history of hard work, of persistence, of faith, of opening its big heart to people everywhere. Lewiston is where I worked for years. It's where I met and married my husband and where our girls went to school. I love this place just as I love our whole state with my entire heart. I'm so deeply saddened, as is every one of the 1.3 million people of this beautiful state. This city did not deserve this terrible assault on its citizens, on its peace of mind, on its sense of security. No city does, no state, no people. No words can truly or fully measure the grief of Maine people today. Our small state of just 1.3 million people has long been known as one of the safest states in the nation. This attack strikes at the very heart of who we are and the values we hold dear for this precious place we call home. All Maine people are sharing in the sorrow of the families who lost loved ones last night. Loved ones, normal people who were killed or injured while unwinding from a day of work or while spending time with their family and friends, socializing. So on behalf of the 1.3 million people of the whole state of Maine, I hold these families and this city in my heart today.
What the hell?
I know that the people of Lewiston are enduring immeasurable pain. I wish I could take that pain off your hearts, off your shoulders, but I promise you this, we will all help you carry that grief. I ask Maine people to join me in offering our comfort to the families and friends who have lost someone, and in offering our prayers for swift recovery for those who are healing in Maine's hospitals today. This is a dark day for Maine. I know it's hard for us to think about healing when our hearts are broken. But I want every person in Maine to know that we will heal together. We are strong. We are resilient. We are a very caring people. In the days and weeks ahead, we will need to lean on those qualities more than ever before. As we move forward, struggling as we may, let us wrap our arms around one another, offer comfort and solace and love. I know the Maine State Police will continue to release information to the public as we confirm it, and information about any steps that the public might take to support the people of Lewiston at this time. May God bless the people of Lewiston and bless the memories of those we have lost. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Sasha.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much, Governor. We certainly appreciate your support. The city of Lewiston does, the state of Maine, and certainly our first responders. We feel that love every day, and thank you very much for that. I would also say that we want to say thank you to a really large number of other elected officials across our state, whether that's the federal delegation, local elected officials, and many others that are part of organizations or law enforcement agencies that truly wanted to join us today at this particular press event. and wanted to speak on behalf of their communities. And as the governor had mentioned, and everybody else will reiterate, our reality for today is that this suspect is still at large. And we want to provide community support for the victims, for the families, and the communities across the state. But we also have an incredibly strong laser-like focus on bringing this suspect into custody and ultimately to justice. So because of that mission for this particular event and today's activities, we're keeping the list of speakers and the agenda pretty tight. And that will include next up at the podium would be Chief Dave St. Pierre from the city of Lewiston. And some other members of his command staff are present. What I will say to the city of Lewiston, and you know this because you feel it every day, but you're lucky to have a chief like Chief St. Pierre and his entire law enforcement agency. From every level, those officers put their heart and their soul on the line on behalf of their community last night and into today. And they're doing it for the right reasons. They do it because they care. So the city of Lewiston and truly our co-responder family across the state of Maine is lucky to have Dave and his team in the mix with us. And we're also going to hear from Colonel William Ross from the Maine State Police. And Bill will highlight some of the timeline things that you're probably concerned about and certainly interested in from a story perspective. So the Colonel will come up and speak to that. And we'll also have Jody Cohen. And Jody is the special agent in charge for the FBI out of the Boston field office. And Jody will highlight some of those federal partnerships and some of the things that our federal partners are bringing to the table, bringing to bear to help us with this investigation. We also have a bunch of people here. Once you start naming people, you're going to have a problem because you're going to forget somebody or screw something up. But I would also tell you that a couple of our other federal partners are here. Kevin Neal, who's the U.S. Marshal for the District of Maine. We also have James Ferguson, and Jim is the special agent in charge from the ATF for the Boston Field Division. They are heavily invested with staff along with the FBI, and we can't thank them enough for all that they're doing on behalf of our state. I would also tell you that we are going to close with a brief Q&A, and we're going to try to get some of those questions out there. We appreciate your time, your patience, your professionalism, your partnership in getting this information out. I would think that those questions are going to be brief because, again, we do have a suspect at large. And while you can help us with that, we also need to get back to our teams to push forward on that. So with that in mind, I will be back up to the podium to kind of steer that a little bit. But for starters, I would like Chief St. Pierre to join us.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Sawchuk, and welcome media partners. And thank you, Governor Mills, for those kind words. I'm going to keep this short. What I would like the very most is to express our deepest sympathies to the families and friends of the victims of this heinous crime. This is truly a tragedy that goes beyond comprehension. I'm confident in our community that our community has and will continue to come together throughout this endeavor to bring this to a successful conclusion. Although difficult, I do ask the public to continue to be mindful of their own personal safety and also that they be patient with the process as much as possible. There is extensive work and attention to detail that goes into such a large-scale investigation. I'm confident in the expertise and professionalism of our investigators and all law enforcement officials that are currently involved. This is an all hands-on deck approach. We have a great deal of collaboration and resources that have been made available to us. There are far too many to name individually, but I think Director Sawchuk named quite a few appropriately. There are far too many, as I've stated, but they are all appreciated more than you know. I want to thank all of our brave men and women of the Lewiston Police Department, Fire Department staff, medical personnel, first responders of any kind that came from far and wide and have come together and continue to work tirelessly in bringing the situation to an end. We hope to locate and hold the person accountable. I think you'll hear next from the state police, who is taking the lead in this investigation. Although that we are working hand in hand with them, I think Colonel Ross will be able to fill you in on a little bit more.
Thank you, Chief. First and foremost, this is an ongoing homicide investigation and search for the person that is responsible for it. We're in the early stages of this investigation. And I just want to let you know we will have updates. We'll be putting some type of a schedule out later on. But again, early stages of a homicide investigation, we want to be careful that we're doing things correctly. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I'm going to give you a bit of a timeline here to kind of fill in some of the blanks and give you some of the facts as we know them right now. A lot of this information will then be transferred to the Attorney General's office, as they will be the lead prosecutor, again, in any homicide investigation. Last night, October 25th at approximately 6:56 p.m., the Auburn Communications Center received a 911 call of a male shooting in Just in Time, or the Spare Time Recreation Center in the town of Lewiston, located at 24 Mollison Way in Lewiston. Shortly after that, at about 7:08 p.m., the Communications Center received multiple 911 calls about an active shooter inside of a Schmenge's Billiards at 553 Lincoln Street in the town of Lewiston. A large law enforcement response from multiple surrounding agencies assisted the Lewiston Police Department in trying to identify who this individual was and what was happening. As you can imagine, this was a very fast-paced, fast-moving, very fluid scene, very dangerous scene that these guys and girls were going into. 18 people are now deceased at this time. The victims at the Just in Time establishment, 7 people are deceased there, 1 female and 6 males, all from an apparent gunshot wound. Victims at the Schmegley's Billiards, 8 are deceased. 7 males inside the establishment, 1 male outside of the establishment. Again, also apparent gunshot wounds. So multiple people were transferred to area hospitals, Central Maine Medical Center, St. Mary's, and Maine Medical Center. 3 people that were transferred to those hospitals are deceased, for a total of 18 people deceased at this time. The investigation into the person responsible for this identified a vehicle located at the Przebscott boat landing in Lisbon. That person, through the registration of that vehicle, was identified, as been stated earlier, as a Robert Card, born in 1983. Several of the deceased have been identified, and their families, next of kin, have been notified. Approximately 8 people at this point have been identified. 10 people, 10 of these victims still need to be identified at this time. Currently, there is an arrest warrant for 8 counts of murder for Mr. Card. And the reason it's 8 counts because 10 people have not yet been identified. As those people are identified, the counts will probably go to the total of 18.
Probably they will. The hell?
He should be considered armed and dangerous.
Duh.
Based on our investigation, we believe this is someone that should not be approached. This is someone that should be, if you come into any contact with this individual or someone that you think looks like this individual, you were to call 911, and I'll provide some
better call 911
at the conclusion of my briefing. The Lewiston Police Department, federal, state, county, and other local municipalities are involved in a coordinated search at this moment for this individual. So there's the ongoing investigation, and there's a search to apprehend this person. Both happen simultaneously. I can't stress this enough. This is an ongoing investigation in the early stages. More information will come out in conjunction with the Attorney General's office as the lead prosecutor. We can't share all of our information right now, and I'm sure you understand that. I'm going to give out 2 numbers that go to a tip line. 911 is also appropriate for this, but if anyone can call these 2 numbers, this would go to the state police tip line. Area code 207-213-9526, 207-509-9002. And we'll be sending something out later that has that information in it if you weren't able to grab that now. Again, This is a very fluid situation. We have a lot of resources, as Chief St. Pierre had mentioned earlier, that are on the ground in a coordinated effort to apprehend this individual. We've notified the Department of Education, and they have determined what they're going to do with the schools. A lot of schools, area schools, were shut down today based on our conversation with them. Again, as more information comes in, we'll be providing it to you. Thank you for your time. This is a very difficult time for, I think, the community of Lewiston, difficult time for obviously the victims' families. It's a tough time for law enforcement. It was a rough night last night, but we're committed to bringing whoever's responsible this to justice. And again, we are currently looking for Mr. Card right now, someone that we'd like to apprehend. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel. And FBI Special Agent in Charge, Cohen, if you could join me, please.
Thank you. My name is Jody Cohen. I'm the Special Agent in Charge of FBI Boston Division, which covers the state of Maine. Our hearts go out to everyone who is impacted as a result of this senseless violence. The FBI is working hand in hand with our law enforcement partners. Our evidence response team is here processing these very extensive scenes. We are providing investigative and tactical support, as well as our victim specialists are working with those affected by this tragedy. As this very active investigations continues to unfold, we're asking the public to stay vigilant and come forward with any information that you might have that you feel is helpful to our investigators. My pledge is that the FBI will carry out this investigative case with rigor. We will work day and night alongside our law enforcement partners to get the answers to the questions this community deserves. We thank the public for your continued cooperation and patience as we continue to work this very active investigation. Thank you.
Appreciate that. And I would say that the reality here from a resource standpoint is that when we've asked for anything, the answer has been yes, period. Tactical teams, evidence response teams, full-blown investigative units, detective units that have come from multiple states, whether it's the commissioners from Vermont and New Hampshire reaching out to me directly, Massachusetts saying, what do you need, Mike? What can we do for the state of Maine? So we are now prepared to try to take a few questions. And keep in mind, again, that we may not be able to answer as in-depth as you would like, and we don't plan on taking a great deal of questions. I think follow-up press events will allow for that. Sir?
Because nobody knows anything yet.
No one has really talked about the weapon that was used here, the AR style, so hope someone can talk about that. But the other thing here is there are reports that this individual had mental health issues, that he made threats to shoot up the National Guard. So clearly there were some signs here that he was on someone's radar. The question becomes, why was he in possession of this weapon? And certainly, why wasn't he stopped sooner?
Yeah, I think those are all valid questions, and certainly questions that we are looking into now, but not questions that we can answer today. Considering that this occurred last night, there's still an active search for the suspect in question. So I can appreciate those questions, but not something we're going to be able to answer right now.
Is it something that you're investigating?
It is certainly one of those things that we want to follow up on, all aspects of that. Go ahead, right here. Yes.
Can you give us a sense of the ages of who has died, how many are under 18 and how many are over 18?
I'm not sure we have that information with us today. We wanted to break it down by gender because that's something we had readily available. We did not break this down into age ranges at all.
So what can you tell us? What can you tell us about the background of the suspect in this case, or I should say the person of interest, because I noticed the language is very clear. You're saying person of interest, not suspect. So why use that terminology, and what can you tell us about his background?
Yeah, I think we used person of interest last night for half of the room that was here for that press event. As the Colonel had mentioned, there is now arrest warrants for murder for this particular individual, Mr. Card. So he is viewed as a suspect, and there is a full court press by all of our partners to bring him into custody. What was the second piece of that question?
What can you tell us about his background? Someone had asked a second ago about the idea that he had voiced concerns about his own mental health, right? Had been committed, according to language in the police bulletin, to a mental health facility for weeks. How could someone that fits that profile still be in possession of semi-automatic weapons?
Well, I do think that the statutes around firearms and the possession of those are pretty complex. I know that we will be reviewing that information as we move forward, but that's not an answer that we're prepared to give today, because that leads to motive. You're talking about behavioral health issues and how that impacts this situation. I would expect you'll hear back from us on that in the future. Right here, sir.
Yeah, I've got a question about, we've seen helicopters as far north as can you tell us anything about what's leading you, that far north of the scene where you come from?
Yeah, sure. So we have law enforcement assets that are deployed over a number of communities doing follow-ups on a number of different things. So as you can imagine, there's a great deal of search warrants that we're following up on. We do have partners, that helicopters from the New Hampshire State Police. That copter was here last night to assist us as well. So whether we have tactical elements out or we're searching an area, some of those air assets would be very, very valuable for us. So that's what they're doing.
That's leading you there.
We're not going to speak to what brings us to a specific community one way or the other. Yes, ma'am. Right here.
Identifying the unidentified victims. What are people encouraged to do? Is there DNA being, tested from family members who may have missing loved ones? Like, what's that approach right now?
Yeah, so we did have a family a reunification center open last night. We do have behavioral health liaisons that are fully engaged to work with families and work with loved ones and work with victims, for that matter, that may be in the hospital and seeking treatment. So those things are actively occurring. We are dealing with each one of those situations separately. So do we need DNA on that? Are we just waiting to find a loved one, some kind of family member that we can make a notification? I think that varies across the board. I'm going to take two more questions. I'm going to take two more. Right here.
Yes, but there's some sort of triggering event. Is that something that you're investigating?
I think we're always concerned around motive. That you say triggering event, that's a motive for us. Again, that's not something we're prepared to discuss today, but I do appreciate the question. It's clearly something that's important. One additional follow-up from you.
Can you help to understand why these locations, why this bar, why this bowling alley? Was he looking for someone? Was he looking for something?
I think that does speak to motive, so I appreciate the follow-up, but not something we're going to be prepared to answer today. I'm going to have one more question right here, sir. Right here.
Can you say, is Card, first off, to clarify, were the arrest warrants issued today? And can you say if Card is still in the state or if he's still alive?
Yeah.
Well, we're actively searching for him. If I knew the answers to those questions, and this would be a different press conference, I would assume. So we don't know his location, and I'll leave it at that. And we are working with the Attorney General's office reference to those murder homicides. So with that in mind, we're done taking questions for now. So we are going to actually take off at this point. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate that.
Thank you, everybody. Have there been any credible sightings? We've not really gotten many answers.
Interesting.
All right, so that is the end of that news conference. As you are taking a look over in Lisbon, Maine right now, one of the many communities where search efforts are underway for now considered a suspect here. Want to go over the latest here that we learned on the deadly mass shooting there in Maine as we received that update from Maine State Police and the governor saying that at least 18 people are now confirmed dead, 13 others wounded after a gunman opened fire inside of several businesses in Lewiston, Maine last night. State police originally calling 40-year-old Robert Card a person of interest, but now saying that he will be charged with murder. They say as of now, he will be charged with 8 counts of murder, but once apprehended, more of the victims are identified there. More charges will come as a result. Residents in multiple communities, including this one in Lisbon, ordered to shelter in place, staying inside their homes and keeping their doors locked as that manhunt does continue for Card. A police bulletin obtained by the Associated Press and by Fox News identified Robert Card as a firearms instructor believed to be in the Army Reserve and assigned to a training facility in Saco, Maine. At this point, a lot left to figure out here, still quite a few questions. We're going to go to our first 2-minute commercial break, but on the other side, an expert will join us to help break it all down. You're watching Live Now from Fox.
Interesting. Okay, so, Okay, first off, wow. Numbers are completely off. Well, not really there were a few off on the toll of people who have passed. What is wild to me is the reports that have been out here saying that it's 80 people that have been injured, and it went down to 13. So how did it go from 60 to 80 and drop drastically all the way down to 13 people? Now, the one thing I'm going to say, the one thing I'll say about that is that maybe 80 people did show up to the hospital because of fear, being scared, so on and so forth, right? There could have been a large magnitude of people just flooding the hospitals with maybe a few, maybe superficial injuries, right? Just a few cuts, bruises, that kind of thing. Nothing too bad, right? And then you have the actual 13 people that were actually hurt by this man. So maybe they're dwindling everything down, because you got to remember the mass run, right? The pandemonium that happened in all those places, people trampling over each other, people running, whatever. You see what I'm saying? You're bumping into things, you're hurting each other because you're in survival mode, right? So there could be that, and then they are dwindling it down. They're sizing it down, basically saying, okay, these people got hurt by tripping and falling or running into somebody or getting hit by somebody else, blah, blah, blah. But none of them got hit by bullets. The people that actually got hit by bullets are these 13 people in these various locations. And so we should say that instead of 80. So I think that's what's happening here. Okay. Because I think that I would think, because when we heard 80 injured, I'm thinking that they all got hit, right? And just 22 plus people during that time weren't so lucky, didn't make it out alive. But now we're starting to hear that, okay, it's 13 people that are injured. They must have been hit with a bullet. Okay. And I think that the other people is not as serious. Like, they don't have a GSW, if you get what I'm saying. They're not dealing with fighting for their life or anything like that. There's just maybe a few cuts, bruises, etc., but nothing that has to do with him going in and taking aim at that particular people. So I think that's why they scrunched it all the way down to 13 people. But I already know some of y'all tinfoil hat conspiring mother lovers out there are going to be like, there's something else going on. They just don't want anybody to know. I already know. And all you guys who are just thinkers are going to think that too. Like, wait a second, that don't make no sense. The math ain't math, and what's up with that? That could very well be the reason, meaning 13 people were actually hit. They're actually suffering from a wound that he inflicted upon them with that weapon, if you get what I'm saying. And the other 67 people that they say went to the hospital, all of them were not GSWs. But it is weird that they went from, literally CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, everybody, their mama was like, 60 people have been injured. 22 people have lost their lives. 60 people are in the hospital injured, and the toll could go up, guys. And now we're hearing 13 injured and 18 have passed. The other thing too, before I signed off last night, there were stories of them saying that the death toll went up to 26 people. Crazy. And now it's just 18, which still, I'll take 18 over 22 any day. Regardless, it's still terrible to hear 18, right? Still devastating to hear that. But now we know from them saying that these individuals, it's a little bit more condensed than what they gave off early. And I get it, because everybody floods into the hospital because of trauma, going into shock, nervous breakdowns, being hurt, falling on stuff, hurting themselves, trying to run away from the pandemonium, etc. All those things are possible, right? All of those things are possible. But those are not from him pointing aim. Okay, like the injuries are not a GSW from this man. Okay. And again, this guy, this monster is still on the loose. Let's not forget this. This man is still on the loose right now as we speak. Mother lover out here in these wilderness streets. They don't know where he is. That's why they couldn't answer anything. Okay. That's why they couldn't answer a doggone thing. They were trying to say some things, but none of what they said. A lot of it was, you know, the Oscars speech. I'd like to thank this, and this. The mayor came up. She said some things, and I get it. She needs to speak from the heart, and she needs to talk about this because this is an absolute tragedy. No matter what, this is a tragedy. But of course, all of us are here going, hey, we want to know the meat and potatoes here, y'all. We want to know the nuts and bolts of what the hell's going on here, and if y'all got him or not. And by her talking, you can tell they haven't gotten him. The other thing, too, you can tell when they ain't got nothing is how they walk into the press conference. That's the dead ass giveaway. Let's keep it real. How many press conferences have we seen where they have captured the assailant, found the missing person alive? They come walking in with their chest out and their head held high, and they're going, yes, another one for law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't here. Again, they don't know nothing because this dude went, he turned into a pink mist. He ghosted us, y'all. We don't know where he is. He gone, and they don't know where he is. There's stories of him getting into a car and driving, but that's the thing. We don't know. There's all these different stories going around like crazy. All right? This is not good. And I'm reading, I was reading a lot of y'all comments, and I appreciate the energy and the passion that you guys are talking about, saying, okay, we really need some change. We really need some things to happen in a different way. And I agree. I mean, it's not a political thing anymore. It shouldn't be a political thing. That's the problem. This is a conversation that needs to be had, that we need things figured out soon, quickly, because the wrong people are getting their hands on very powerful weapons and doing very, very bad things. This is not a political thing. I'm not trying to get on a soapbox being like, vote for me, with all my empty promises like a politician. I ain't trying to do that, guys. I ain't trying to do that to you. But it is true. There needs to be something. There needs to be some serious tweaking in the ways that things are being done, and the ways that people get their hands on very powerful, deadly weapons like Robert Card. And again, there have been multiple people out here doing a 1,000 videos and talking about all this every single time there is a mass tragedy that happens. And guess what happens? Nothing happens. Nothing. And then everyone gets on their soapbox as soon as there's another mass tragedy. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? I'm going to play a little bit of this, okay? A little bit of this just to see what this retired FBI agent has to say about all this. Let's rock and roll.
It's a very meticulous process, both online and at his home, but they're trying to look at where he might be right now, because there's only one concern right now, is getting him into custody before he harms anybody else. And so every effort is directed towards that goal, towards getting him. So yes, people are looking back at his past right now, but the main goal, the main objective, and where almost all the resources are being dedicated right now, is to getting him in custody.
Duh.
Why refer to him as a person of interest? We've heard that from authorities. Right. We now know that He is going to be charged with at least 8 counts of murder once he
Make
is
that
taken
make
into
sense.
custody. But he's been referred to by law enforcement up to this point as a person of interest rather than a suspect. Why is that?
You know, there are legal ramifications for the use of different, labels on people. You know, the FBI, unfortunately knows that better than anyone after the Richard Jewell debacle at the Olympics in Atlanta, when a person was named as a suspect and his life was ruined, basically, and he was an innocent man. And so, we have to be very careful in the early hours of these things. Different agencies have different levels of comfort as to when you cross that threshold.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't do that. Because this dude is in, like, what was he dressed up like? Was this a Halloween costume? I'm just being real. Like, put it together, guys. Look at what he's doing. He's walking into the place. These people all got hurt. A lot of people died. Okay, and in the security camera footage, it's him holding the weapon. How is it? It's a person of interest. No, this is the mother-loving dude. Period. It's just so, oh my Lord. We don't want to make any mistakes, bruh. Dude was standing. He is holding literally the smoking gun, guys. Literally the smoking gun. Ain't that something? Man, oh man. Let me get this. Grace Sky, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really do appreciate it. It boggles my mind how he was still a firearms instructor after having documented mental health issues. Yes, or mental illness. How he's also Army Reserve. Yeah. He could be having PTSD or having a PTSD episode, thinking he's in combat. He's very dangerous. Yes, like I said, it's like this is Rambo, except not the good guy. A very, very bad version of Rambo. Very bad version of Rambo. And he out here up to no good. And the thing is, he's good with this weapon. He knows how to handle himself out there in the terrain. He is a highly trained individual. This is not good. Okay? This is not good for, literally, this is not good for any law enforcement right now. Okay? They woke up and had some bad luck, law enforcement in the state of Maine. They woke up yesterday and they did not know that they were going to be handed a can of bad luck. And that's exactly what they got. Because this guy, if he is as skilled as they say he is, he could be out there for a good while and live just fine. Or he does something really stupid because he thinks he's that skilled, but he screws up, slips up, and gets caught very, very quickly. I'm hoping that's going to be the case, but I have yet to hear anything of that sort yet. Again, he is still out there and they don't know where he is. Everything happened last night, by the way. Last night. And he's still out here in these streets and no one knows where he is. He could be on water. He could be in a car. There's a multitude of different storylines going on out here where people are saying that he's in one place. Some other people are saying he's somewhere else. It's bad. Just like the information where, like the rumor mill was talking crazy. There were videos being thrown out here saying, oh, he's been arrested, right? Oh, he's been arrested. You guys need to go and check him out or check out the video. See, he's just got arrested. Nope. Not true either. Also not true. It's pretty messed up, guys. And, again, this is a very scary time because he could be anywhere. He could literally be anywhere right now. If he's on that boat, or if he steals another car and he drives and they don't know what kind of car to look for, he can get some serious miles in. He can cross many state lines undetected. So this is not good. Not good at all. But guys, real quick, I wanted to share with you guys this thing real quick. I know this is a little bit of a left turn, but I wanted to share this with y'all. Okay, I am doing a GoFundMe, a little fundraiser, because I want to put together a holiday special for us all. Something to just kind of have some fun, relax a little bit, have a few chuckles and have a few laughs. It's the time of the year that we should be doing that, right? So if you guys can, please go check out. I just put it in the chat. I'm going to make sure I pin it to the top of the chat as well. I am literally working on, let me make sure it's in here. Thank you, Debbie. I'll actually pin Debbie's. Okay. But if you can, please, like I said, trying to reach this particular goal. Shoot, if I can even get to half, if I can even get halfway to this goal, that would help fund at least some of the things that I want to do for this holiday special. I can even condense the show. That would even work as well. It doesn't matter. All I want to do is be able to bring some joy, some happiness, and some good times for everybody, for all of us. I think we all deserve just a little bit of time to relax and laugh. Now, if you've been seeing the skits that I have been putting out recently and all that, and you laughed and you thought they were funny, imagine contributing and helping put out some more laughter and a little bit of holiday cheer and some cheesiness too. Okay. That would be amazing. I just posted a skit just recently, a song. I may post it as soon as we get done here on YouTube, but it's on X, it's on Instagram. I haven't put it up on Twitter. I mean, on Instagram yet. On TikTok yet. But you can go and check out that song. If you like comedy and if you need just a little bit of variety, that's what I'm trying to bring to you guys, because I know a lot of this heaviness can be really, really tough. Okay. And also, I did post it on Facebook as well. So it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram, it's on X. It'll be on YouTube here in just a little bit. If it makes you laugh and if you enjoy the song, that would be awesome. Take a listen. And if that inspires you, like, hey, okay, I see, okay, this would be kind of fun. Or if you saw any of the other skits that I put out and you thought they were funny, please consider going and clicking on that GoFundMe and helping a brother out, having a holly jolly Christmas with all you guys, or holly jolly holidays with all y'all. Again, shoot $1, $5, whatever you feel like contributing goes a very, very long way. So if you can, that'd be great. I'd appreciate it. And yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay. But going back to this really quick, just so you know, this monster is still out on the loose. We don't know where this mother lover is. Let me show you his face one more again. Okay, let me show you his face. There it is. Badaw. This is Robert Card. He's 40 years old. He was last seen in Lewiston, Maine. He jumped onto a boat, and now he is disappeared. Okay. Yeah. But at the same time, we don't know what is going on, where he is, why he did what he did. Again, he went into 3 different locations. If I got that correct, 3 different locations, opened fire on a bunch of innocent people. 18 people have lost their lives. 13 people have been injured. So the story of 80 people is not true. It's not accurate. Let's just say that it's not accurate. 13 people have been injured. 18 people have lost their lives. I'm hoping that they get this guy very soon. I'm going to keep an eye on this for sure. I mean, the manhunt continues and all that, and it's pretty scary. Okay. It's pretty scary. So, given the fact that we don't know where he is at all. He could be anywhere at this point. But I'm hoping that law enforcement does the due diligence and they circle around him and get him as quickly as possible. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Of course, if there's any more updates on this, don't worry. We will be talking about it. I will be keeping close eye on this case. So if there's any breaking news, anything of that sort, we will be talking about it. Of course, we talk about a lot of things on this channel. So there's going to be, some other uploads on other things as well, if it's worthy of talking about. But please go check out my other videos and all that. I got another video. I guess I'm going to post that skit because I think we all need just a little bit of a chuckle. So I have that being loaded very, very soon. So please be on the lookout for that and share it if you can. Okay. Don't forget, if you can hit that link, it's in the description box down below. If you want to contribute, that would really, really mean a lot. Let's do a fun little holiday special. That'd be amazing. Okay. And Sinaloa, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. I love doing them. It relieves some of the tension from all the other stories of all the sad stories we talk about all the time. But anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on Facebook. Hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, crush that follow button on my Facebook page. Be great to have you part of the Pascal Show family on both platforms. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Oh man, I'm praying that they get this man soon, and my prayers and thoughts go out to all the victims' families and the ones that have survived as well. Hope they heal quickly, and I hope they push through. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. See you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll see you guys very, very soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.